Now to discuss today's ceasefire agreement between the terrorist group and the federal government, and now being joined on the news at 10 by Professor Femi Adegbolu. He's a strategic security consultant as well as a lecturer at the Redeemers University. Professor, good evening, and thanks for joining us on the news at 10. Quite frankly, how did this come to you?
Well, I'm not surprised that it's coming at this time, because the Boko Haram elements have received bombardment from all fronts, and they have no choice but to call for a truce.
You know, many Nigerians have actually received this with big surprise, asking if it's actually necessary. What's your take on this?
Yeah, it's quite necessary, but remember, it's a ceasefire. A ceasefire is a kind of armistice or truce, which is a kind of agreement between two people who are warring to cease fire, to cease fighting, to see a cessation of hostilities just for some time. And that is why we must exercise what I call cautious optimism. It's just a short, brief period to cease cessation, to cease hostilities concerning the war that is ongoing. It is what the two of them now do by way of give and take that will actually ensure a lasting peace. It's not as if there is peace here, but this is just a call for cessation of hostilities. Now it depends on what the two of them bring to the table that will actually guarantee whether it's here to rule.
But again, you know, some would say this is just to buy time, as you have rightly put it from the start, while we have seen some kind of incursion by the Nigerian military in trying to push back the insurgents. What's your take on this one, trying to tell Nigerians that, well, they're not trying to buy time with this?
Well, there is no doubt in the fact that the Nigerian army have actually worked seriously on their game. They've actually kind of upped their game. You know, apart from what we used to see before now, that the Boko Haram are always, steps ahead of the Nigerian army. But now, since the Boko Haram, for instance, started actually capturing cities and kind of erecting their paraphernalia and all that with a view to staying there, that was when the game changed. Okay, because there is like they are bringing the battle to the familiar territory of the Nigerian soldier. And so you cannot beat Nigerian soldiers in their own game. Now, it ceased from being unconventional warfare, a kind of asymmetric warfare, to now conventional warfare, where our people have mastered the game. So from our front now, the Nigerian army seems to have actually, surrounded them, and is actually working to decimate them. As a result of this, they have no choice but to call for a cessation of hostilities. But we should not think that the war is over yet. It may even be a way for the Boko Haram to re-strategize, okay? Because we have been so pummeled by the Nigerian army. Okay, let's give this as a kind of, let's just, what I call, trying to deceive, okay? Let's call for ceasefire so that the Nigerian will let off their guard, so that we can re-strategize. So we should watch out for things like that, which Nigerians should not just go and rest and say, oh, the people have called for ceasefire, so no more war. It could be a strategy on their own part. So, but while negotiating, Nigeria should be very strategic in dealing with the Boko Haram, because even in the negotiation itself, Nigeria is on the platform of strength now to negotiate. So Nigeria should not take anything that it cannot implement eventually.
Well, talking about negotiations, just allow me to come here very quickly. Talking about negotiations, one key thing is the release of the Chibok girls. How optimistic are you on that?
Well, of course, there is no doubt in the fact that that is the major thing they want to do now, to release the girls. If not all, at least maybe almost all. It is a process of negotiation. So, but that is the strength that the Nigerian army has now. Because that's the major thing the Nigerian army or Nigerian country is going to ask the people to give up before any negotiation move forward. Of course, they will do that. But like I said earlier, we should not rest on our oars thinking that all is over yet. It's not.
Well, before you go, how best can we maintain this ceasefire?
Well, we can maintain this ceasefire by not resting on our oars, but by using one eye to negotiate and the other eye to watch. I mean, intelligence, I suppose, should be going on all around wherever the Boko Haram have their they are franchised here and there. So Nigerian army should make sure that all the, nooks and crannies are covered or surveilled, okay, so that they do not take us by, by the backyard, for instance, and wreak another havoc. It is a ceasefire, it's a temporary armistice between the two of them, but the two of them are still watching each other. My advice is that Nigerian army should not think that the war is over and just go and rest and start to count their chicken, because it's not yet over. But the release of the Chibok girl is the primary demand that Nigeria is going to ask the Boko Haram to release. Now, we do not know what they are going to ask the Nigerian government to give to them, but Nigeria should be very, very careful not to promise what they cannot deliver. It's very, very key to any negotiation like this.
Professor Femi Adegbulu, many thanks for coming on the News at 10.
Thank you for having me.
Well, the Bring Back Our Girls campaigners today took their protest to the Cameroon High Commission in Abuja to press for the release of the over 200 Chibok girls in Boko Haram captivity. According to the group, the responsibility to curtail the activities of the insurgents rests on the governments of Nigeria and Cameroon. They are therefore demanding that the Cameroonian authorities collaborate with the Nigerian government release of the girls.
It's been over 6 months of persistent protest by the Bring Back Our Girls campaigners since the abduction of the Chibok girls in Borno State. For them, there is no going back until the girls are returned to the parents. They have decided to put pressure not only on the Nigerian government but also on the Cameroonian authorities.
Cameroon, it's a neighboring country, and then from Borno, like they normally say, they just move there. It's just a walking distance all the way to that place, and then it's of critical value. We need to be here. We wanted to find out from what is being done about the rescue operation, because the only weapon that Boko Haram has over us, the insurgents they have over us, is the fact that we are not united. That is just it. As long as we are united, both as a nation and in the neighboring countries, definitely we're going to defeat this evil that has befallen us.
Apart from this march, the group also offered special prayers for the abducted schoolgirls by an Islamic cleric who condemned the activities of the insurgents.
In a battlefield, Islam frowned at killing women, old people, burning of houses, burning of religious places of worship, cutting economic trees. You only engage the person that comes and attack you. So Islam frowned at terrorism, frowned at kidnapping.
According to the cleric, the Islamic faith has no objection to Western education.
Islam has no room for ignorance. And one of the unique features is anywhere you see a right and proper Muslim and is well educated, you see that there is that wisdom on him, because he's guided by two. He has a Western education and then the Islamic background, because what Islam is teaching you is to be upright in all you do.
The group is hoping that international collaboration from neighboring Cameroon and Niger will speed up government's efforts to contain terrorism and return the abducted girls to their parents.
Well, the president has held bilateral talks with his Ghanaian counterpart, John Mahama, in the presidential villa. The talks centered on security and the efforts Nigeria is making to deal with the problems of Boko Haram, among others. Briefing State House correspondents after the meeting that lasted for about an hour. The Ghanaian president, Mr. John Mahama, called on Nigerians to stand in solidarity with the federal government in dealing with the Boko Haram threat. He also commended Nigeria on the diligent manner the Ebola outbreak was handled in Nigeria, expressing the confidence that other West African countries still battling with the EVD will also come out of it.
We are optimistically hopeful that Nigeria will continue to deal with the issue of Boko Haram. We believe that the people should stand in solidarity with governments. You must be one in dealing with this threat to your national survival. And us in West Africa believe that any destabilization of Nigeria is a destabilization of the whole of the West African sub-region, because not only of the size of Nigeria, but it's the largest economy in our sub-region and indeed in the whole of Africa. And so we continue to express solidarity with Nigeria in your fight against this insurgency. And I also commended President Jonathan for the very, diligent manner that the government and people of Nigeria dealt with the outbreak that occurred here and how you were able to contain it. Indeed, the Nigerian experience has become a model, for the rest of the world. And so Nigeria is assisting other countries in terms of their Ebola preparedness and how to handle any such outbreak.
Ghanaian President there, John Mahama, on his visit to President Goodluck Jonathan. Now, the Lagos State government has once again defended the work done at the Eko Atlantic City project. Governor Babatunde Fashola, at the book presentation of one of the governorship aspirants, Olashukwu Shashore, explained that contrary to opinion that the Eko Atlantic project would cause flooding in the area, the project is only taking back the land from the sea. He also gave his reasons as to why the centenary was not celebrated in Lagos State. According to him, those who celebrate the 100 years anniversary do Nigerians a great disservice.
That the Eko Atlantic project is causing flooding because we are reclaiming land from the sea. I say they do not know the history of this land. Because from Modupe Shikoya Street now, which is the road in front of the Babbage, you needed to walk at least another 2 to 3 kilometers before you saw water when I was a child. So we are not taking anything from the sea. We are taking back what the sea took from Lagos.
So when I took the position publicly that we will not celebrate a centenary in this land, I spoke with a lot of knowledge of history, because it would have been a great disservice to the spirit of nationalism, the sacrifice, the labor of men like Chief Obafemi Awolowo, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Ernest Nkoli, Albert Macaulay, and all of those who said it was enough. And I think those who celebrate that centenary do our people a great injustice.
When the News at 10 returns, Ogun State Governor gets royal blessing. Stay with us.